Now to the 2020 race, where the country's ongoing protests over race and policing are upending some congressional primaries as protesters demand real change from Washington. Primaries today in Kentucky and New York State will be one of the first electoral tests of the impact of George Floyd's killing and the movement that it sparked. In Kentucky, the Democratic primary race to take on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, it's seeing a remarkable shift in recent weeks, driven in part by those protests. ABC's Mary Bruce has that story.
The people united will never be divided. The people united.
In Kentucky, the movement for racial justice is shaking up the race to take on the most powerful Republican on Capitol Hill, giving a late boost of momentum to an underdog, Democratic State Representative Charles Booker.
I stand before you as your brother, as your cousin, as your neighbor, as your fellow good troublemaker.
He's become a fixture at the protests, his campaign for the U.S. Senate tapping into the energy marching through the streets. Booker even sharing this video of being tear-gassed.
This ain't helping, Mayor. This ain't helping.
Just weeks ago, it seemed the Democratic Party had all but decided on former Marine fighter pilot Amy McGrath as the best candidate to take on the Senate Majority Leader.
Amy McGrath is our candidate. She's a strong candidate. She's giving McConnell a run for his money.
She's Kentucky's best chance to move on from Mitch McConnell.
But aboard Booker's campaign bus, the 35-year-old tells us he's poised to shock the political world.
We know that we can do the work to end poverty and to end injustice and to address the racial and structural inequity that robs so many people of the chance of doing anything more than struggle. And so we're fighting back, and we're showing the country and the world what Kentucky is made of, and I'm fired up.
Just a few weeks ago, Democrats really thought they had this race planned out. What happened?
Kentuckians are used to being ignored. We're used to being counted out. We're used to being written off. People talk about Kentucky. They talk at us. They tell us what we think. They tell us what we believe in, never listen to us.
The national reckoning on racism has roared through this state, sparked by the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor by Louisville police, and then the killing of George Floyd. For Booker, this fight is deeply personal.
I carry a lot of trauma. I've had cousins murdered the last 4 years. And my cousin TJ was murdered on Easter Sunday in 2016. Was really good friends with Breonna Taylor. And it hurts. It hurts even right now. And I've used that pain.
He says he's lived the struggle most politicians just talk about.
I'm standing with them even when I got hit with tear gas myself. And I think it showed the people of Kentucky that they can support me in my candidacy because they know I'm going to fight for them.
He's surging, gaining endorsements from progressive powerhouses like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren.
I know we're making some noise now. I believe the establishment folks, I believe leadership hears us.
McGrath has the support of top party leaders in Washington, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Democratic leader Chuck Schumer. And she's raised more than $40 million to take on Mitch McConnell after narrowly losing her bid for a House seat in 2018.
Amy McGrath, the former Marine combat pilot, defeated by the four-term incumbent.
I've been boots on the ground for a year now, almost a year now, talking to my fellow Kentuckians about their frustrations and their concerns and talking about common sense solutions for the future. So we're excited to take this primary on. I'm not particularly a partisan person. I'm somebody that will work with anyone, no matter whether they wear a red jersey or a blue jersey.
But in the midst of this movement, her critics say she's out of touch.
Have you been on the ground in Louisville with the protesters the last 3 days, or in Lexington or elsewhere, Ms. McGrath?
I have not.
And why?
Well, I've been with my family, and I've had some family things going on this past weekend.
Your critics say that you've struggled to respond to this growing movement. What do you make of that criticism?
Well, look, I have been out listening to my fellow Kentuckians. I went to memorial services for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor in Central Park in Louisville. And I know that people want to tackle social injustice in this country, the racial injustice. We got to fix this.
Have you been surprised by the momentum around Mr. Booker?
We're living in a time when the racial injustice is being highlighted. And, Mr. Booker, he has his life experience. He has a voice for these things. And I think that that's an important voice. I do believe we need to come together as Democrats to defeat Mitch McConnell.
Both candidates are confident Kentucky is ready to make a change. McConnell has been in office for 35 years.
He was elected 2 weeks after I was born, and he's been screwing us my entire life.
But before they take on McConnell, Kentucky has to get through today's primary. Due to COVID-19, the state today has just one polling site in each county, regardless of size. That's a 95% reduction, sparking concerns about potential voter suppression in large cities with more minorities. Even LeBron James speaking out, tweeting, "This is systemic racism and oppression. So angry, man." The state is also seeing a record number of people voting by mail. Counting all those ballots will take time. Results are not expected for another week.
Today's just been special because it's my first time ever doing it.
Results that may reflect how the country is rising to meet this moment.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.